Hey, what's up you guys, it's Connor, and it is currently 85 degrees, and it's supposed to be winter. Florida did not get the memo. Today we're going to be doing my November wrap-up, and I read 17 things this month, so let's just get started. The first thing that I picked up was Fairy Tail Volume 4 by Hiro Mashima. Names. In this volume we find out about S-class jobs, and so the main characters decide to take one on, and it's just so much fun. I love Fairy Tail. All the characters are super weird. It's about a wizard guild, and this guild, Fairy Tail, is like so weird. They're just so weird, and they don't really follow rules very much, and they destroy everything, and they have like such goofy personalities. I just love it so much. I ended up giving this book 4 stars out of 5 stars. The next book I buddy read with Sam from Novels and Nonsense, and that was The Innocent Mage, which is the first book in the Kingmaker Kingbreaker duology by Karen Miller. I gave this book a 3.5 stars. It's a slower paced book, but the dialogue is definitely the best part of this book. It really just works with the characters, and I just really enjoyed how they interacted with each other, the main character being Asher. He's a part of this lower group in society, and he's best friends with Prince, who's obviously a part of the upper group of the society, and it's just kind of fun to see where everything goes. The ending of this book was terrible. Did not like it. It makes the book not able to stand on its own. You need both to enjoy it. So I'm currently reading the next book in the duology with Sam, so we'll see how it ends. Sorry if the lighting just changed, because I actually read this book as well and I forgot, and I'm going to insert it into the correct spot. But I read Carry On by Rainbow Rowell this month. This is my first Rainbow Rowell book, and I decided to read this one because I'm kind of iffy on contemporary, but I do love fantasy, so I decided to give this one a go. I did a video review for this book, and I'll leave that in the card symbol, but I think that review was one of those things that I filmed it too soon after reading it, because as I thought about the book and I discussed it with people, my opinion of it has changed a little bit. I like it a lot less than I did when I first was reading it, if that makes sense. I think there was some flaws that I was kind of overlooking when I made that review, and so some of the things that I do talk about in that review stay the same, but I downgraded my original rating from 4 stars to 3 stars. It was a good book, it was fun, but there wasn't anything special about it in my opinion, so yeah, 3 stars. I then buddy read Shades of Grey by Jasper Fforde with James from James Chatham. He's also reading musically. I don't know if that's his username anymore. I don't remember. Sorry, James. I did a book review for this, so I will leave that video in the card symbol, and you can go check that out if you want to hear more thoughts on it, but I give it 5 stars out of 5 stars. I then buddy read Tower Lord by Anthony Ryan, which is the second book in the Raven Shadows trilogy with Chelsea the Reading Outlaw. And I actually really enjoyed this book. I took a big break between books 1 and 2, and the style changes a lot between books 1 and 2, so I think that was a good decision on my part, because the first book is mainly about this one character named Valen Alsorna, and then this book introduces a lot more points of view. There's like 4 different points of view in addition to the ones that we had in the first book, so it's just a different feel, but I actually really enjoyed it, and I gave it a 4 stars out of 5 stars. I am terrible at giving synopsises. This book is about a guy who at the beginning of the first book is dropped off at a battle monastery, and so he's raised by these like battling monks, and the book is actually told kind of like the King Killer Chronicle, where he is now a current day like crazy badass warrior, and he is telling his life story to a chronicler. He's in a different situation than Quoth, but still super enjoyable. I have been loving this trilogy so far, and I cannot wait to get to the 3rd book soon. I decided, because I was reading a lot of like adult books that are a little bit slower to read, I would pick up another graphic novel, and I picked up Saga Volume 4, which is a comic book series. It's about a girl from a planet and a boy from the moon of that planet, and they get together and have a baby, and that's not allowed because they're in war against each other, and so now they're trying to escape and stay alive, basically. But there's also some other characters that you follow somewhat, mainly like the bounty hunters that are after them. I just really love this series, and I ended up giving this volume 5 stars out of 5 stars. It was my favorite in the series so far, so it makes me really excited to pick up volume 5. I finally got my brother into reading, so we buddy read together The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. He has the first book, I think, in paperback, so I really wanted him to pick it up, and he loved it. He was so excited. He now wants all the books for Christmas, and I'm gonna buddy read all of them with him. I definitely want to reread this series because it is just phenomenal. I ended up giving this book 5 stars out of 5 stars. Still love it. I really wanted to finish up some series this year, so I ended up picking up World Firekeep, which is the 4th and final book in the World series by J. Scott Savage. I did a video review for this book as well, so I will leave that also in the card symbol, and you can go check that out. I love this middle grade fantasy series about different elementals. Obviously, these would be the fire elementals, and it's just a ton of fun, and I recommend it a lot. I give this book a 4 stars out of 5 stars. I was still like, gotta finish some series, so I ended up finishing The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I also did a video review for this whole trilogy, so I'll leave that down in the description and also in the card symbol, and I wear a crown in it, so you should go and check that out. I ended up giving The Return of the King 4 stars out of 5 stars. It was my least favorite in the series, but still really enjoyable, and I will definitely be continuing my knowledge gathering in Middle-earth, so I think the next book that I'm going to be reading is probably The Children of Heren, because I already own it, but I heard you're supposed to read The Silmarillion next, but oh well. So I did a video this month on all my books that are on my TBR that I haven't read yet, and the majority of the people that commented on that video were like, read this book, read this book, read this book. So I picked up Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This is a standalone science fiction novel that I also did a video review for, so you should click that up in the card symbol. I think I gave this book a 4.5 stars out of 5 stars. It was so good. The next book that I read was Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. This is the first book in the Live Ship Traders trilogy, which comes after the Farseer trilogy. So to read this book, you should probably read the first 3 first, but if you're not about it, you would be spoiled for the very end, but if you don't care, you could just skip onto this book. It's not like you're going to be super confused about what's going on because it's set in a different country and it's set with a different magic system slightly. So I really, really enjoyed this one. I gave it a 4 stars out of 5 stars because Robin Hobb is a master at characterization, and I have never disliked a character more than the boy named Kyle in this book. I hated him. I was irate, and I was talking to Caitlin from Kitty G and Sam from Novels and Nonsense about it. Like, as I was reading it, I was like, I hate this character so freaking much, and I was just so mad at him. So the fact that she could do that is just incredible. I've never cared about characters more, in a bad way, I guess, really, than in this book. This book is a family drama, so it's character driven, it's not really plot driven. I mean, there are a lot of things that happen, but it's not the main focus of the story. So if you're looking for plot driven stories, you might want to give this one a skip, but this one has amazing characterization. Then I hit a little bit of a rough patch because I picked up Of Neptune by Anna Banks, which is the 3rd and final book in the Serena Legacies trilogy. If you want to read this series, just read the first 2 and give this one a pass. It was not good. It was just random and unnecessary, and I didn't like it. Also, let me find it. Oh my god, there it is. Okay. So I do not like when a character has kind of like a catchphrase or a word that they use all the time. It gets very frustrating and very annoying, and that happens in this book. I just found an example of it. Right? Where is it? Right there. Oh my sweet goodness, as one word. She uses it all the time. It is the most frustrating thing, and I hate it. I ended up giving this book 2 stars out of 5 stars, but I really just did not like it, so I might downgrade that to 1.5 stars, because there were some things that were tolerable, but I just really did not enjoy this one. Because of Lainey and Sam, I picked up Fallen Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. I've had this book for 2 years, something like that, and I just needed to get to it at some point. It's described as a Game of Thrones light, and I would kind of agree with that. I gave this book a 3 stars out of 5 stars. I liked it, but there was just so much potential that she didn't use. Like, she creates these really interesting characters that could add a lot to the story, and then she doesn't take advantage of them. And it's just like, they just drop off. It's like, what? There's so much potential in these books, in this series as a whole, but it hasn't been used yet. So I ended up giving it 3 stars because I did enjoy it, but there's just so much room to grow. So I knew I wasn't going to absolutely love this book before picking it up because everyone's reviews were like totally not for it. And I picked up The Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey. This is the 2nd book in the 5th Wave trilogy. I think it's a trilogy. And it was pretty much how everyone said. The book is just so bleh. That's like the best word to describe it, is bleh. Compared to the first book I really enjoyed. And then this one just, like, you stop following the main character from the first book as much, and you start following another character about equal amount, and the other character was a lot more interesting for me. Like, I just found myself not caring about anything that was going on, and all the characters were just kind of flat. didn't seem to work too much, and also the beginning is super repetitive. Like, whole sections of the book are just copy-pasted over again, and it's really slow. I gave this 3 stars out of 5 stars. I don't know if I'm going to be continuing with the series or not. I think if I find the 3rd book for really cheap, then I might, or if the reviews for it are really good, but I'm not going to just pre-order it or anything. Then I decided to finish Fablehaven by Brandon Mull, one of my favorite middle grade authors. He's probably my 2nd favorite middle grade author. Him and Rick Riordan, they're so great. And I finished Keys to the Demon Prison, which is book 5, and it was awesome. It was so much fun. I ended up giving this book 4 stars out of 5 stars because it does one of those things that I really don't like in books where everything ends up being really convenient for the characters. They struggle so hard in the first 4 books, and then this book, everything seems to fall into place. So I gave it 4 stars out of 5 stars, but the things that actually happen are really cool and really interesting and really fun, and I love the ending, and I just cannot wait for the continuation of this series because I think he's going to be writing another series set with these characters, so it's just going to be so fantastic. Lindsay told me I think that it comes out next year, so we're just going to fanboy and fangirl over the Fablehaven series together. I'm going to do a Brandon Mull book chat thing, so I will be talking about this series and the other 2 series that I've read by him, so look out for that in the future. The next book that I picked up was Lokis Wolves by K.L. Armstrong and M.A. Marr. That's Kelly Armstrong and Melissa Marr. I don't know which one it is, but I did a book review for this, so I'll leave that in the card symbol and you can go check it out. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it had a lot of good things. This book review that I did is actually probably my favorite book review I've ever filmed. I think I did a really good job of portraying what my thoughts were on it while reading it, so yeah, 4.5 stars, fantastic. Loved it a lot. Cannot wait to continue. I picked up The Brightest Night by T. Sutherland, and this is the 5th book in the Wings of Fire series, but it's kind of the last book in this series. So the problem introduced in the first book is resolved in this book, so it's not going to be like an 8-book series, it's only 5, and then if you want to, you can continue on to books 6, 7, and 8. But I really liked this book. I gave it a 4 stars out of 5 stars because this book is mainly about one of the dragonettes, and it doesn't really follow all the rest of them, which I was kind of hoping for. I kind of wanted to see everyone in the last book be together, but you know, that's just not how the story ended up going. But this is also one of my favorite middle grade series. It's super, super violent. So if you're not into violent middle grade, I would give this one a pass. But I think, like, it is so violent to the point that if the main characters were all humans instead of dragons, it would not be middle grade. Definitely pick this up. And because I was enjoying T. Sutherland's Wings of Fire series, I ended up picking up The Menagerie by T. Sutherland and her sister Carrie Sutherland, about a boy named Logan who moves to a new town, and he is kind of sucked into this fantasy world that he didn't know about when he discovers that 5 griffin cubs have escaped from a magical menagerie, and he has to try and hunt them all down. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun. I don't feel like it has a lot of meaning behind a lot of it. It just seemed like a really fun book to read, and if you're looking for something that's just going to be really entertaining, this is a great one. Really enjoyed it. 4 stars out of 5 stars. So those are all the books that I read in the month of November. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of these books, if you've read them, or what books you read. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!